ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ and welcome to Photographer's Kit channel. This is another video which is specifically made for photographers and birders who wants to know the species of birds found in Pulicat Lagoon, a brackish water lagoon in India. To justify the place, I had to keep the video a bit longer. Pulicat is located near Chennai and 96% of this lagoon is in Andhra Pradesh state. From Bengaluru, we started at 10 pm so we can reach there in time before the sunrise, which is something you cannot miss. It takes around 6 to 7 hours and we were optimistic to make it for the golden hour. Let's quickly look at the map. Pulicat Lagoon is situated in the southern India. That's the lagoon area. There are two boat points, one in Pulicat village and the other one is Annamalaichari. The boatman takes the boat into the lagoon and that's where the Sriharikota is. Let me share few facts on why Pulicat Lake is one of the most important wetlands and an exciting place for photographers, birders and naturalists. You know, it is the second largest brackish water lagoon in India, measuring 759 square kilometers, only after Odisha's Chilika lake. Brackish water is water occurring in a natural environment that has more salinity than fresh water, but not as much as seawater. It results from mixing seawater and fresh water together. The shallow water is known for its diversity of aquatic birds and is an important stopover on birds' migration routes. During the prime season, which is between October and March, over 20,000 migratory birds come to the lake for breeding purposes. And flamingos are the most frequent visitors to the lake. About 15,000 of them visit every single year. Sriharikota, one of the most famous locations in India, which is the only satellite launch center in India, is on a barrier line separating the Pulicat Lake from the Bay of Bengal. So finally we are here, and as planned, we managed to reach here before the sunrise. We knew we have a full and a busy day in front of us, so we were eager to start. Luckily, our boatman arrived on time and we headed towards the lagoon. And frankly, it's a great time of the day to take the boat, as most of the fishermen would be out in the waters for fishing. This creates an excellent opportunity to shoot landscape photos as well as people in action. There was so much action going on in front of us, it almost felt like this was the highlights of the trip even before we started. These are some of the shots I took. Surprisingly, the first wildlife we encountered here was not a bird, but a pair of Indian jackals. We were really lucky to see them here in Pulicat Lagoon. Wait a minute, we were here to see migratory birds, isn't it? So we asked the boatman to continue to move quickly deep inside the lagoon in search of them. It was almost 45 minutes since we started, but migratory birds were nowhere to be seen. This was really frustrating and also energy draining. But we knew that our patience will pay off, and it finally did. We started seeing a white line at the horizon, which was definitely the flock of flamingos. After covering some distance, the boatman stopped, saying the motor cannot be used after that point, as the water was not shallow enough. But from that place, it was still a bit far for us to see the birds. Hence, we got down into the water and started pushing the boat towards the birds. We were very careful, moving slowly and hardly making any sounds so that the birds won't get frightened and either walk away from us or fly off. Wow, finally, we see them clearly. The feeling of watching flamingos and hearing them is just speechless. Flamingos are the type of birds which can take anyone's heart away. It certainly took mine. You know, they have a famous habit of standing on one leg. For our surprise, they can even sleep in that position. Interesting, isn't it? While taking off, flamingos can literally run on water to gain speed before takeoff, which does not surprise us due to the size and weight of the birds. And flamingos are like humans, very social. They gather in big groups and do almost everything together. And finally, what I've observed is that they are one of the most shy birds. And when you try to get closer to them, they either start walking in the opposite direction or just fly off. We had a wonderful start of our journey, and with that, we are now heading back to take some rest and come back for another boating in the evening. Pulicat is not a big town, but has some decent hotels to stay and many restaurants to eat from. After getting enough rest, we could not wait to come back to the lagoon in search of different bird species and of course to see the flamingos again. I must say, the best part of being close to the ocean is to see the splendid golden and blue hour. It's always special to watch the sun rise from the horizon or set into it. The colors it creates is always impressive. You can keep watching this over and over again and never get bored of it. The next day, we started early and wanted to visit Sriharikota, even if it means we just visit the entrance and come back. It's a place which we don't want to miss. For our surprise, on our route to Sriharikota, we saw many birds. We realized that the entire stretch was a bird's paradise. So if you ever visit Pulicat, you should definitely travel on this route. When you are traveling towards Sriharikota, keep an eye on both sides of the roads, where you can find many species of birds. If you're lucky, you can see flamingos too. We in fact were lucky. Let me now share few key tips for photographers so that your chance of getting wonderful and unique shots of birds and landscape in Pulicat is going to be high. There are many aspects of photograph which are equally important, but I'm highlighting the points which pertains to this location. Rule number 1, golden and blue hour. It is evident that at this time, the wildlife is super active. And this is the time when the entire lagoon turns into magic with a lot of activities around you. So you definitely don't want to miss it at any cost. Telephoto lens for birds. If you want to get good reach of these birds, you've got to have a lens which is at least 500 mm. Anything less than 500 mm will push you to the edge and you will find it really hard to get the desired reach. But for shooting landscape and people, any other lens will work quite well. And the next one is higher shutter speed. You always have to have a higher shutter speed due to the constant movement of the boat, and you will have some movement even when the boat stopped. You also need to have a steady hand to reduce the shake. Multiple shots, burst mode. Multiple shots will help capture the moment which you would intend it to shoot. If you take photos in the single shot mode, the chances are very high that you will miss the moment. Check out Flamingo photos. Like any other subject or location, these birds have been photographed for many years. Hence, seeing photos will give you ideas on how these birds have been photographed, the compositions used, as well as the angles. And finally, be creative. Not to forget, you have to be creative to be able to take a creative shot. Thank you for watching this video. You can find the photos and other details in my website mentioned in the description box below. Please do leave your comments. Have a good day.